Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and what better way to celebrate 25,000 subscribers than by going back to where it all began with my high-speed passenger train 60051. And I think today I'm going to treat it to a brand new dome car using these wonderful windscreen pieces. Now, as many of you will know, this set has a very special place in my heart, being the first thing that I bought when I returned to the hobby as an adult fan of Lego. I then bought a small station, a companion cargo train, then a cargo yard, and so on until, well, I ended up with all of this. So it really is responsible for everything you see before you. So it will always be kind of my number one go-to set in a way when I'm ever asked that question. And I've added to it quite a lot over the years. I've basically added this baggage car, which is now technically a mail car, which is very nice indeed. I've also added a buffet car with sort of full interior in there, and all these videos are available on my channel, of course. And I've also made this wonderful double-decker kind of observation car, or maybe it could be a restaurant car, or even a sleeper if you wanted to put beds in the lower floor. But I decided I really wanted to add yet more to it. And that's when I got these wonderful windscreen pieces with the white detailing on. And I thought they would be perfect for kind of a redo of my double-decker car, but with a real dome kind of look. And that would make views of Brick Nottingham even more visible and spectacular from within. So basically, I'm not going to cannibalize any of the ones that I've got already, because I kind of like the balance of the train already. I'm going to be adding a brand new carriage, which will be similar to this in many ways, but with those wonderful new pieces that have been delivered to the cargo yard of the city. So onto the build. And the main piece is this wonderfully titled windscreen 8x6x3 curved top angled canopy, which is a very catchy title, I'm sure you'll agree. And there hasn't been a version of this that's just plain without any printing on at all. And there are two printed versions. One is from the set 7190 Millennium Falcon, a very sort of clunky looking one from 2000. And the other is this one from 7315 Solar Explorer. Life on Mars set from 2001, which is a pretty cool set actually, with that rather large plastic piece sort of solar panel. And the most important thing about this one, which is why I've chosen it, is because it's got white printing on it, and I think that will go much better with our fast passenger train, of course. And the other really good thing about it is it's much more common, so it's cheaper and a lot easier to get, because obviously you need two of them to kind of go back to back on the top to make that dome. So that is the basis for this build. So you'll have to get hold of two of those if you want to do the same. And I will be including all the kind of individual part numbers for the most important pieces in the description below, of course. Now, the other really fundamental part that you'll need to build this is one of the split level bases that are 6x34. And there's quite a few different part numbers for those. The only difference between them really is what they've got in the base, which doesn't matter at all, and whether they have these two studs here. And that is slightly better if you do, just so you can kind of attach a ladder or something else like that to get down to the lower level. So that would be ideal. But again, all those part numbers are in the description below. So basically, I just add one of those modified plates to get down to the lower level so we can have some seating in here. Put that in the middle so it's nice and visible from both sides. And what I've started doing on these longer base trains is trying to add a bit more sticker basically into the middle. So I've basically got one here and here now just to liven up that sort of rather blank expanse of wall. And the 60051 sticker is basically from the nose here. I've kind of chopped it off a spare one that I had for each side. So basically I can add one again to this build, then continue the dark grey stripe along the bottom with whatever bricks you've got to hand, then a nice red stripe. And I like my stripe to be continuous, so basically on these split level ones it goes along, down and then along before going back up. Now you could continue it all the way along here basically and then have the whole area underneath dark grey, but I've tried that on Lego Digital Designer and I don't think it looks anywhere near as good. So basically that's why I've got the continuous unbroken line going down with the angle, and I think that looks a lot smarter. Then we can start to add the stickered brick and the white level that we have in common with all the other carriages like this, and then we can start to add some of our stickered window pieces. I've got these rather fantastic first class and second class ones which were from a different train set, 7897, the passenger train from 2006, and I think this one is such a wonderful expensive sort of dome car that it really has to be first class. So I'm going to add that there. 2 1x3 bricks, window, and some of these. It's very important to get these all going the same way, and I'm going to have to pull that up temporarily just so I can get that in to continue the white stripe, which also now goes with that split level. And if you want to convert a regular carriage into one of these, you do get the majority of the pieces you need. You do still need a few more, but apart from the base and the sort of additional special pieces that I've mentioned, you really just need relatively common pieces. Whoop, made a mistake there. And then we'll have the bicycle storage sticker on that end. So there we go. There is our base level. That's pretty much the same as the other side. And I'll add the far side with another one of those stickers in the middle, all as one big piece. Hook, like that. And then that on there. And you can add a lot more detail onto the insides of this if you want. You could have some seating in these end areas. You could also have some steps going up to the upper level and some proper steps going down to the lower level. Or as I said before, you could make this a sleeper car with kind of a dividing wall in the middle, or a restaurant car, or all sorts of other things. But I'm just keeping it simple because it is quite dark inside there. So basically, you know, if you add too much detail, you really won't see it, really. So that's the standard sort of end that's on the original build for each of the ends, and then we can move on to the next level. But before we do, we kind of need to do the interior upstairs. So I'm just going to push this back a little bit, and that's to make this construction here. And basically I've got 2 4x8 plates and a 2x4 plate in the middle, and I've just kind of sandwiched something on the top and on the bottom to basically give it some strength, because obviously it's very long. And then a couple of these arches for people who are going down the ladders onto the lower floor, and then some plates just to give it a bit of strength, because this is kind of hovering in mid-air. It's not attached to the sides of the train at all. And then I've crammed that top level with loads of seats as well. So once you've done that, you can kind of drop it in between these sides that we've just added here and push it down in there, and it will rest at exactly the right height where we can still have passengers on the lower level, but basically we're going to put most of our passengers on the upper level enjoying the view. So that's all in place. Then we can add that additional sticker for the centre, being just one of these ones we've got on the end. And then a 1x16 brick, or any combination of bricks that make that up, and a few more plates on the top. And you'll see that I've left this little sort of gap in here, and that's because we're going to have a 1x6 basically going across the build. So I'll just put this one on all in one piece, and that will give it a bit of strength, but also it will basically give us something to rest our interesting kind of end pieces on, because we are going to have to basically construct a very interesting end, obviously, to support the dome. So one of the normal roof pieces there, first of all. Then, so we've got sort of headroom to go up there. We're just going to put some 2x4 ordinary slopes in there, like that. And then I'm going to add an inverted slope on that 1x6 plate that we added in there. So there's still enough clearance, and it's still quite good looking from the up view from above. And then I can add some of the detailing like we've got on all the other levels. Ooh, there we go, like that. And then for this edge, it's very important. You'll see I've got a 1x6 plate there, but I'm adding a 1x6 tile here. And that's for when we start to include our dome pieces, that we don't basically have too many studs showing that we don't need. Because if you see these, they're only really gripping a little bit here and mainly at the back there. So basically, I'm just going to have it kind of like that. So then this bit is not studded and looks a bit smoother in my mind, a bit more aerodynamic. Now, talking of aerodynamics, at the moment we've got this great big flat surface here that would have been the sort of nose cone of the Millennium Falcon or that Life on Mars spaceship. So we really need something to bridge that gap. So I've decided to use this wedge brick here, and this is parts 64225 if you're interested, called 4x3 with no studs. And that is just a perfect one to kind of bridge that little gap there and smooth out our profile. So that looks rather fantastic, I think you'll agree. So I'll add another one of those, and then the entire end bit all kind of done in one piece here. I can push down there. Then we can add our second dome, and then, well, we've got a little bit of a gap in the middle, but it is looking absolutely fantastic. And I think those sort of printed bits actually add to it. I mean, they look like they're sort of doing something, and maybe that's a windscreen with a windscreen wiper on it or something like that, so the view is always maintained. But yeah, I mean, look at that headspace. So anyway, we need to bridge that little gap first of all. So really, that's quite easy. I can just use a couple of white modified bricks to give it a bit of texture, and two of these curved arch pieces, 1x2x6. And that will drop in there and finish it off. Wow, check that out. Right, well, we better add some bogies with wheels on, one onto each end, just the same as for the normal carriages. And there is our wonderful dome car. Wow, what do you think of that? I think it looks really good. It definitely needs these extra stickers halfway down, if you ask me, just to give it a bit of detail on what would be a very sort of plain sort of white band. But yeah, I'm really loving the fact that the glass sort of colour matches, and there's loads of viewing space up there. I think you could almost have the passengers standing and really admiring the view out of the window with their cameras. Yeah, I think that looks really good. Right, let's get some people in there next. First of all, a lady. We'll put her in there with her partner perhaps. And it is a bit spongy, as you see when I'm pushing these minifigures down, because it isn't supported in the middle. But you could add a support, especially if you had a central wall where basically you were dividing two different sleeper cabins or something like that. And lady with her headphones as well. Put her in there. There we go. And then when we put the domes back, oh yes, I really like that. The best thing about this is we can see all the passengers, and that's the problem with kind of a normal passenger wagon. You can't really see into it that well. The old one was quite good at being able to see in, but I think this one, you'll agree, is even better. Yeah, and I think you could almost have people standing, as I say. So the fact that it's very spacious is great. The fact that it's very visible is great. It looks very futuristic as well, which I really like. I mean, wow. I don't know if these things really exist, this bubbly sort of dome car-y, but yeah, I really like it. And the other thing is, we've got great aerodynamics all the way along. It's just low enough to get underneath all my bridges and so on. And yeah, it's really easy access actually to get at the people inside. So yeah, I like it. I could make doors work or something like that, but since the rest of them are all sort of glued shut, basically I don't think I'll bother. But yeah, let's get this back up to the Lego room and going around Brick Nottingham. Ho ho, look at that. Wow. Oh wow, I really like that. It looks absolutely fantastic added to the rest of the train. Obviously this is the unveiling ceremony with the permatanned Mayor of Brick Nottingham doing the announcements, and the very jealous Mayor of neighbouring Brick Derby looking a bit disgusted for this wonderful carriage to be added to our train in front of my statue. Yeah, looks really good there. I've put it at the front, which means it is next to the other one, but they're both first class, so I kind of thought that made sense. And I think this is the lowest part of clearance for my train track, and it fits underneath there, so I think we're good to go. So I think the only thing left to do is to give this a bit of welly and see it going around the city. Now this poor train is quite long, and it has to do quite a lot of work to get up to the fast speed to match its name of fast passenger train, but it will get there. Just one motor pulling all of that, and wow, doesn't it look good across the bridge? It's quite hard to see for long in any one space just because of all the buildings I've got. But there we go. Oh yes. I think that might be better than the original double-decker. Do tell me what you think in the comments section. Wow, I am getting very dizzy now. But it looks good. It looks very good. Nice. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, I think we'll be doing, well, I don't really know actually. We could do the fairground, more of that over there. Maybe some more of the deep sea cabinet downstairs in the build room. Or maybe I'll do something absolutely brand new. Who knows? Let me know your preference in the comments section. But until whatever we do, see you!